Are you sick and tired of blowing money on Google, getting mediocre results, having to compete with people that have been there for a very long time and have huge budgets and, happen to not care that they're wasting a whole bunch of money on Google? Well, I've got some good news for you, because you have the opportunity right now. You can still get in early and start reaping the benefit of the Facebook machine and send yourself hordes of traffic, getting thousands of visitors to your brand daily. Facebook is probably, one of the strongest entities, at least online, I would say. And it doesn't matter what you're trying to sell. Okay, we all know that the internet is the best place to get more people interested in your business, hands down, right? The internet itself, almost 2 billion users online. Okay, that's crazy. That's an amount of exposure that businesses could have only dreamed of years ago. So the amount of traffic that you can get to your website is limited, really, only by your own dedication and your imagination. And so what I want to do is show you how you can take Facebook and use it as yet another fantastic source of even more traffic. Because I'm going to be honest with you up front here. There is no one single solution to what you should be doing to get your traffic. If you're only utilizing one source of traffic, you're cutting your own throat. Simple as that. You want to get the most traffic that you can, you have to use different aspects, different resources. And Facebook is yet another one of those. So the first thing we got to talk about is, what is Facebook, right? I mean, come on. Hopefully you know what it is. I hope I don't have to tell you what Facebook is. But, everybody uses it, right? But just in case you have not jumped on the bandwagon yet, maybe you happen to have just gotten your first computer last week and you just now found out what Facebook is. Well, we'll go ahead and explain it. It is a social network, and it is actually the largest social network. It allows people to connect and to keep up with each other. They can share pictures, they can share thoughts, they can even play games together. They can send messages back and forth. They can do kind of like a little microblog kind of thing and just update people as far as what they are doing, what they're thinking about. So it's a place for people to socialize. Now, just like with AdWords, Facebook can get you some really good traffic very, very quickly. What you're going to find, though, and this is like the icing on the cake, is that the traffic that Facebook sends you, you are more than likely going to find that it is better targeted and less expensive. Okay, think about what that means for ROI. If you're spending more money on Google and not getting the kind of targeted traffic that you need, and over here on Facebook, you're spending less money but getting more targeted traffic, think about the potential there. I love the fact that when I go to Facebook, because I use it personally, right? Just me as a person. When I go there, Facebook knows me. It knows my interests. It knows things that I talk about, what I'm into, and the ads that I do see are relevant to me. It's awesome. The demographics that they collect at Facebook makes it possible for them to basically give me a custom tailored ad campaign. So I go there, I see things that I care about. How cool is that? Now let's talk about AdWords for just a minute. AdWords did give us instant traffic. Okay, we had a huge potential for sales, and there was a time when, AdWords was like the thing and you could make a lot of money. That's the way it used to be. over the years, AdWords has proven that it really does have some major flaws. As the network has grown, there's been a lot of things come up that really, just cause a lot of problems, make it very difficult. There's a huge network of competition with AdWords. And the pricing there naturally just goes up, right? The more competition there is, the more competitive the pricing has to be, because AdWords works on a bid type platform. So the more people you get there, the more money that is going to be put up to beat out others and get better positioning. So it's become, kind of a headache to me, actually, and I've steered away from it altogether. The question is, can you walk away from the AdWords machine? And if so, how do you do it? Because the fact is, we've got to have traffic. We need to have organic traffic, and we need to have paid traffic. If you're serious about this business, folks, you are going to pay for clicks. That's the bottom line. So how do we get away from the AdWords machine when we need that traffic? Answer, simple. Facebook. It is cheaper right now, much cheaper. The traffic is more targeted, and the user base at Facebook grows every single day. There are a crazy amount of users on Facebook, and their new users are being added all the time. Okay, from some teenager hopping on to grandma and grandpa wanting to keep up with the family. Facebook is growing by leaps and bounds. In the next video, I want to talk to you about some of the reasons why Facebook is so stellar and how you can take advantage of those reasons. All right, let's get down to brass tacks here. Does that saying make any sense, really? I don't know why people say that, but they do. Why is Facebook so awesome? What can it actually do for us? And by all means, why in the world would this social network be able to beat out Google? Well, let's check it out. First off, 500 million users and growing every single day. When I say 500 million, I'm talking about what Facebook considers active users, people that log in basically on a daily basis. Okay, in my network of friends on my Facebook account, I can tell you that by and large, most of them use Facebook on a regular basis. Now, not all of them do. Maybe, just guessing here, I would say maybe half of them use it on a regular basis, the other half just on occasion. We're talking about 500 million users that log in every day, okay, and use Facebook. So the number of actual users, who knows what that might be. It could be anywhere between 750 million to a billion. But a lot of users using Facebook on a regular basis. And by the way, I have no clue how many total users they have signed up, just guessing on my own, based on my own experience. I don't even know if they post actual users. Whenever I see them posting user stats, it's always active users that they consider people, using it regularly. Facebook is a different model than Google. Facebook is all about users. It's not about advertisers. They are wanting, basically because of the nature of what Facebook is, it has to be something where people feel comfortable using it. It has to be something where, in other words, ads are not obtrusive or obstructing. People go to Facebook to use Facebook. Right? They don't, like with Google, they go there to maybe do a search to find something, and maybe they're looking to buy something, and they want ads to come up that are relevant to that, obviously. With Facebook, though, they have to be a little more careful, because People they're going to Facebook to use the site, to interact with their friends and colleagues. So it's okay to have ads show up. They're not looking for ads, though. They're not looking for products, but having the ads show up, if they're relevant, if they're pertinent to that individual, that's fine, and people don't usually have a problem with that. Now, because of those differences, there is a new book of rules here. You have got to learn the rules because you absolutely have to play by those rules. Now, if you if you play the game like Facebook wants you to, the chances of you getting a higher yield on every single dollar that you invest are absolutely fantastic. So we're talking about getting more back, ROI, return on investment, getting more back for everything that you spend. There was a campaign that I used to have on Google that basically for every dollar that I would spend, I would make $1 back. And that was pretty cool with me at the time. I would spend maybe in a month's time, I would spend $1,500. And by the time I did my expenses and advertising costs and, pulled that away from sales, I was making $1,500. So 100% ROI. Absolutely fine. Well, with Facebook, you're looking at spending less and getting more actual sales because the traffic that you're getting, much more targeted traffic. Now, what you got to do is, I know you have probably tried AdWords, but forget everything that you know about traditional pay-per-click, especially Google's pay-per-click model. You might be tempted to think that, I've done AdWords, so I'll just apply everything that I know to Facebook, and boom, away I go. Well, what's going to more likely than that, it's just not the same game. The tricks that you used on AdWords, good chance it's not going to work on Facebook. And there are things that you're allowed to do on AdWords that you're not allowed to do on Facebook. Just point blank. Because again, it's focused around the user. It's a social network. So they have to make sure that everybody's playing fair. They have to make sure that their credibility isn't questioned, right? What I'm going to be showing you in this course is how to make powerful Facebook ads. Ads that are going to, get users' attention, that's going to pull them in, make them want to click the ad and come check out your site. Now, I will mention from time to time some of the free and organic traffic that Facebook allows us to cultivate, but we're focusing on doing some paid advertising here because that is where there is a lot of power on Facebook. Now, the Facebook rules, which we will be dealing with fairly extensively, are very, very serious. You mess up and you get banned. And they've done that a lot. They've done it many, many times, and it won't hurt their feelings one bit to do it again. Okay, so we're going to be spending a good amount of time on the do's and don'ts kind of stuff with Facebook. I want to keep you, ahead of the game so that you stay in Facebook's good favor. One of the things that we're going to be looking at is your landing page. It's important with Google AdWords, and it's even possibly more so important with Facebook. They're actually going to monitor your landing page, and if you break any of the rules, you're out of there. Sayonara, adios, hasta la vista. So very, very, very important that we know the rules and that we don't, like with some things, and I confess, there have been campaigns that I have launched where I know what the rules are, okay? And maybe I will set everything up to pass the test, and after I get the approval and everything's good, I might go back and do a little bit of changing. Well, you got to be really careful with that kind of stuff with Facebook because, like I said, they will monitor your landing page, and if all of a sudden something is not right, you're gone. So you got to be careful. I mean, you might get a warning, but you might just get pulled. Okay. Let's talk about some exposure here. Again, we've got approximately 500 million users, but guess what? In the United States, we've got about 300 million of those. Okay? A little bit more, perhaps. That means a little bit more than half of the users on Facebook are here from the United States. The other half being from, guess where? Everywhere else in the world. As a matter of fact, just about every country represented. Okay, so huge reach here. Facebook, well, one of the things that we want to consider, something that we always want to ask ourselves when we're dealing about what kind of exposure we're going to be able to get, is monthly page views. Facebook, more monthly page views than Google. Okay? So we're talking about huge activity. Why? Because people don't just, log in and do a search and leave. As of July 2010, 500 million active users. Again, that is people that are pretty much logging in on a regular basis. 50% of the active users log in daily. Now, that's a phenomenal number. That means 250 million people that log into Facebook every day. And what do? They don't do like with Google. Just go there when they need something and do a search and try to find out some information about it. No. Facebook users go in and they stay there on Facebook. For how long? Well, around a total of 500 billion minutes a month. Now, that's a lot of clicking, boys and girls. That's a lot of visiting pages. The way Facebook works is this huge network where you have friends and you can see things that your friends talk about. You can see pictures that they share. So what people do is when they go to Facebook, they might update their stats, but then they check out what their friends are talking about, and they might click on their friends and might look at something else. Okay, and they might spend, if you do the math here, you're talking about every user on the average spending 10 minutes on Facebook every single month. That's crazy. Okay, that is some awesome exposure. That means a lot of opportunity. Think about this. You're on Google, you do a search, ads show up, you look in the organic results, you find what you want, you click on that, you keep reading. Those ads are gone. They disappear. Adios, no more ads. Facebook, think about that. You get 60 seconds of exposure maybe if they have a lot of links that they have to click through to find what they're looking for. Facebook, average of 10 minutes. Every time they click on something, there's going to be some kind of ad somewhere. Opportunity for you. Great exposure. Awesome. Worldwide appeal. 70 different translations of Facebook available. That covers pretty much every country on the map, right? Just about, at least. The lost city of Atlantis, we don't have a translation for them. 70% of the site's users, again, outside the U.S. So you can actually target specific countries if you want to, or you can reach everybody. Totally up to you. And one of the things that makes Facebook so crazy powerful is the potential to cause something to go viral. What in the world does viral mean? Viral is when an individual tells all the people that they know about something. And then those people, it is something that is so interesting that those people then tell all the people that they know. And you can see that we've got an exponential growth here that is absolutely phenomenal. Because it could start out with me seeing something and going, wow, that's cool. And then I tell my buddies about it. Maybe I've got 500 friends on Facebook. of those 500 friends, maybe 50 of them want to tell other people about it, and they've all got 3, 4, 500 friends. Okay, you can see what happens there. Something goes viral very, very quickly. This is how videos on YouTube go from being posted and having no views to having 1 million views in a very, very short amount of time, because it goes viral. People spread that video to their friends, and their friends do the same thing. Now, Facebook has a lot of features that allow the potential for viral activity. For example, the actions that you do are known to your friends. So in Facebook, maybe you do a quiz, or maybe you play a game, or maybe you comment on something. That shows up to all of your friends. So they see what you're doing. If you talk about a website, they all see that. If you play some game, right, they're going to see that if it's a Facebook game. Well, it also has the feature called like. And basically, comments, pictures, ads even, all have this like feature where you can go there and you can say, hey, I like that. And you just click like. And it kind of keeps stats. Well, so let's say your friend likes something, you'll see that. And you'll check it out. Why does Johnny like that? So you check it out and you're like, yeah, I like that too. And you like it. You click the like link on there. Well, the more people do that, that thing can go viral very crazy, because let's say you discover something like your own awesome product that you're trying to promote, and you like it, right? Your 500 friends, they all see that you like this thing. And they're like, wow, I wonder what's up with that. And so they check it out. Some of them like it. Whoa. Now the friends that they have see that they liked it, and they check it out. And it starts to fan out from there exponentially and goes viral. It's a pretty powerful concept, something that you should not underestimate. One of the things about this like thing is that it's perceived kind of like a personal recommendation from somebody, right? And that kind of word of mouth is the best advertising that you could ask for. So if a friend says, hey, I like this product, other people, it's kind of like they're being told personally, hey, Jerry likes that. Jerry thinks this is a good product. I'm going to check it out. So this is a very, very powerful feature. And again, what we're talking about here is why is Facebook such an excellent source. These are things that Google does not offer. And what's so funny is even an ad can be liked. So somebody could see one of your ads and like it. What happens? Instant exposure to all of their friends. Now, Facebook targeting. This is something that I perceive as probably one of the greatest benefits of Facebook. And I'm not sure, if they intended to do this from a long time ago. I assume so. The guy that started Facebook. Did you see that movie, Social Network? That was actually a pretty cool movie. I liked it. And from that aspect, it wasn't so much, early on, I don't think it was a thinking of let's create this site so we can, get rich and make a lot of money. But at some point, when it started to grow so quickly, somebody said, hey, you know what? There is something here, and we could clean house with this at some point. Well, I don't know if they started this with that in mind, but Facebook collects a lot of information about its users, and it basically has to. Okay, like their age, their gender, hobbies and interests that they have. And it's not that you absolutely have to fill out all this information, but for the most part, people want to because they want to find other people with similar interests. They like to talk about movies that their favorite movie. They like to talk about what kind of activities they're into. And in doing that, Facebook is collecting demographics that are extremely powerful. Not only does it allow us to focus in on the right user, if I got a product that does not appeal to females, why in the world would I want to pay Google for ads, when it's going to be a woman possibly doing the search? I want to be able to say, hey, this has got to go to men, right? And with Google, they have some limited demographics, but they have no idea who's using the computer, okay? Facebook does. Facebook knows what most of its users are interested in. What that does is help prevent clicks that just, don't jive up. A lot of times people on Google are clicking ads that if you only knew a little more about the person, you would know your ad's not even going to, it's not going to be something, the product itself is not going to be of interest to them. Maybe the ad did get their attention and got them to click, but the product itself not going to work, right? Well, with Facebook, they have targeting in place that allows the user to have the best experience possible. It gives them ads that they're going to be interested in. And honestly, if you look at it from the user standpoint, that's the best situation. When I use Facebook, and even let's say that I'm not on Facebook. Let's say I'm on a news site, right? How many times do you go to a news site or a tech site and there are ads on there that you're like, that is so not relevant. I couldn't care less. Okay, that's because they have no way of knowing who you are. So they basically have to get that exposure out there and try to appeal to you. What happens with magazines? Typically, a magazine has a theme. And with that theme, they know what kind of person is reading the magazine. So who advertises there? People that know this is my demographic. This is the user that is interested in my product. And they advertise. You do not see, a guitar advertised in a monster truck magazine. Just doesn't happen. You don't see $4,000 bicycles advertised in, something like Car Week or whatever. They know that that's a waste of money. Unfortunately, in a lot of advertising situations, that's exactly what people have to do is waste money because they don't really know if that user is going to be interested in that particular product. They're hoping maybe based on keywords that the person reading that article would be interested in this product, but a lot of times you'll go to a site and they'll have the same ads on the whole entire site, even for different topics. So what Facebook allows us to do is basically like it's kind of like creating your own custom magazine. The things that you're interested in, those are the ads that are going to show up. So you're there, you're finding out stuff about your friends, you're maybe clicking links that they posted articles about something they thought was interesting. While you're doing all that, the ads that you're seeing are relevant to you. So your experience is going to obviously be a positive one. When I, get a magazine and the ads are about what I'm interested in, the ads don't bother me at all. Now, if I'm watching TV and ads show up that I couldn't care less about, what is that commercial? It's intrusive. It's something that I'm just going to tune it out because I don't care. With a magazine, I see the ads. I'm interested in that. I'll even check out the ad because I'm interested. That's what you get with Facebook. Now, today we know where Facebook is at, basically. Where is it headed? Thousands of new users every single day. Fantastic potential here. Started in 2004. I mentioned the movie, The Social Network, that they created about it. I mean, the fact that they made a movie about this website, think about it, okay? Facebook's here to stay. The demographics. Who's on Facebook? Who uses Facebook? Teens. And I would even say children, although I think they're not supposed to unless they're 13 years or older. Stay-at-home moms, families, professionals, single people, all ages. Everyone uses Facebook. Grandma and grandpa. My grandma is on Facebook, okay? Everybody uses Facebook. Facebook is easy to use. There are some things that require a little bit of looking to find out exactly how to do it. But the most common things that people just do on a daily basis, the things that regular users, I would say, use, very easy to do. Doesn't take a whole lot of explaining. The users have a good experience because of the layout. It's a very good layout. It's, again, easy to use. The ads are not obtrusive because they're things that you're interested in. So users like going to Facebook. They know that when they go there, they're going to be able to check up on their friends. They're going to find out stuff that they're interested in, and they're generally going to have a very good experience. Individuals use Facebook. Politicians use it. Businesses use it. Again, families, organizations, all these things use Facebook. Like, families want to keep in touch with each other. Maybe they're across the country. Maybe they're across the world. They can post pictures. They can say, here's Aunt Judy at the Christmas party, whatever. They can keep up on each other. Businesses use it. All of my businesses have a Facebook page. I'm in a band, as a matter of fact. My band has a Facebook page. Bands use Facebook all the time because it's a great place to be able to post pictures, updates, videos even. You can post videos on there, and people are able to, imagine the social potential here. You're in a band, right? You have people that are local that are on Facebook. And I mean, seriously, there's a lot of people on Facebook. Even I live in a relatively small community, and on there's a large number of people here in this area, and I'm talking, I think there's between 20 and 30,000 people in the town here, and there's a lot of people that use Facebook. You'll have local bands that have hundreds of friends. That's how many people, and they're all locals, right? So you post where you're going to be playing this Saturday. They all know if they like you, they're going to go hang out there, right? Politicians, maybe they're running for election, or they want to just be able to communicate with the community and have a forum where the community can communicate back with them. So they want to stay in touch and have a two-way conversation going there. And of course, just individuals, people that want to get on Facebook and keep track of their friends and let them know what they're doing. So, Facebook's here to stay. Niche groups. This is a way for people that have similar interests to stay in touch. You're into something, I'm into something. Let's have a little group here, and everybody who's interested in that, we can meet each other, we can network. That allows, again, for a lot more exposure. All of a sudden, your friend Joey, that is on your friends list on Facebook, he joins some niche group, and now people in that niche group, they friend him. And wow, now they see that he likes something on your Facebook profile. Instant exposure to that whole entire group. Okay? It's killer potential here, folks. Applications. Facebook has a ton of free games. Now, I personally do not play the games because I don't have time to play those games. And I'm always getting requests from family and friends. They want to do some game or something with me. And I generally just don't do it. But a lot of people do. A whole lot of people do. And for the most part, man, there is probably an app for just about everything on Facebook. But it is a great way for people to spend some time with each other and have some fun. Media sharing. Super easy to share photos and videos. They made it really streamlined, and like I said, even grandma can post on Facebook. It's that easy. Custom privacy and behavior settings. This is a nice feature that allows you to, let's say that you did something on Facebook that you do not want all your friends to know about. Immediately after you do it, you will see that it is updated on your profile. And since you're logged into your profile, you can easily click a little X there and delete it, and bam, it's gone, and your friends don't know about it. So if you did something that you're like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that, and you don't want it on everybody being updated, you can go in there and get rid of it. You can also elect to not share certain types of information by default. Okay, so there's some privacy settings in there that you can say, hey, you know what? I don't want this posted on my profile, this kind of stuff, and it won't happen. One thing, let me tell you a little story. I had some friends in high school, and Facebook was started in 2004, okay? I moved out to California. I grew up in Florida. I moved out to California in 2000, actually at the end of 1999, I think it was. And I kind of lost touch with a lot of my friends. Well, 2004 came along, there's Facebook, started to grow, and believe it or not, I have been using Facebook for maybe a couple of years now, and this is 2011. So I signed up for it years ago, but I didn't really actively do anything with it. But I've just started in the last year, let's say, year, 2 years maybe, using it much more actively. And all of a sudden, just in the last 6 months, I got the bright idea, wow, I should look for some of my friends and see if they happen to be using Facebook. And guess what? A lot of them are. So I found a lot of friends from high school, friends from, after high school, and that I lost touch with back in Florida. And they're friends now with me on Facebook, and we can see each other's pictures. We can be like, dude, you got fat after high school, It's really a great opportunity to make a connection. So even outside of your marketing, really, Facebook, I think, is a pretty it's interesting site that you should sign up. I know a lot of people are a little bit leery about sharing information online. I do have people, I had some lady months ago, I was talking to her about generating traffic, and I mentioned Facebook, and she about freaked out. No way am I going to use Facebook. I don't have nothing to do with that site. I'm not posting stuff about me like that on there. I don't want people, strangers being able to see this or that. Or it's ridiculous, really, okay? It's not that bad. Number one, you can control things. One of the things that you can do in your privacy settings, you can elect to not share anything with anybody unless they're a friend. So people want to be a friend, they have to request it, and you have to approve it. You can leave your profile where it's completely open and everybody can see it. That's up to you totally. And if you don't like that, then don't do it. Other advertisers. Let's take a look at how Facebook compares to some other advertisers. A lot less competition than with Google. So what does that mean? It means two things, really. Less money that you have to spend and a better opportunity to get the exposure that you need because you're not having to fight out so many others. Google often has thousands of bidders that are competing for ranking. A lot of times it'll maybe be 24 people, 24 different companies really bidding against the same keywords, or the same ads, for the same ad space. Sometimes hundreds and even thousands of bidders trying to get in there. So what does that mean? Hard for you to actually get a good position without paying a whole lot of money. There are some niches that $5, $10, $15 a click because there's so much competition. So right now what we're looking at is around 1/20th of the number of competitors on Facebook. So that gives you, you still got time. Get in there and get your Facebook real estate. Get your traffic now while there are so few competitors. Because Facebook advertising is still fairly new, the bids are pretty low. You're not going to spend, you're going to spend a fraction of what you would spend on other ad networks. Specifically, let's take a look at Google versus Facebook. Google is still the king. I have to give it to them. I mean, they are still the go-to place for a lot of advertising budgets. And it's probably going to be that way for a little while. But Facebook does have the best chance of knocking them off the hill, the whole king of the hill thing. Facebook is a contender. They're not to be ignored. And I, at some future point, would not be surprised at all if Facebook and sites like it were able to beat out Google as the go-to place, for advertising, because it's just, once people find out that with Facebook they can target the right people, they can have a better return on investment, then obviously that's the place that they're going to go. But fortunately for us, we know this right now and we can get moving, whereas a lot of companies are not quite there yet. They're still thinking that Google is the only option, and they're out there blowing their money. I know of companies that spend thousands of dollars a day on Google advertising, on AdWords. And they could take that money and be, getting more back for it by spending it over at Facebook. But fortunately, they're not doing it right now. So I'm going to let them spend their money, and I'm going to spend mine in a different location. So there's less competition on Facebook than there is on Google. That means less cost. We have better targeting on Facebook. With Google, we can do some geo-targeting. Wow, that's cool. But with Facebook, I can get my ads directed to the right people. People that are not necessarily looking for, with Google, you go there, you do a search, bam, there's some ads, keyword relevant. Also, you're on a website and the article has keywords in it and they show you some AdSense. That's awesome, great. But Facebook, bam, there you go. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, ads, 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 and they're all right directed at me. More page views per month on Facebook than on Google, and the whole site is community oriented. So we've got a lot of reasons why Facebook has a potential here for knocking Google off the hill and becoming the king of advertising. Let's talk about who Facebook is right for. In the next video, we're going to take a quick break here, and then we'll basically just decide who should use Facebook and who shouldn't. Now, I mentioned before that Facebook does have some rules, okay? And that affects our ads. So there are some things that, it's just not going to approve. But for the most part, you're going to be able to use ads for just about anything, okay? I'll go over the do not lists on the next slide, but for those of you that have an online business, if your traffic is, if you want to drive traffic and get sales to your website, Facebook's going to help you out with that, okay? If the ads are well created, then they're going to send traffic to you. It's as simple as that. So the ball is in your court from that standpoint. Your sales page, your landing page needs to do its job. Facebook will get you the traffic. If you've got a brick and mortar business, maybe you got a small shop, it doesn't do directly online sales, so to speak, you can still benefit from Facebook ads because you've got the potential there for geographically targeting and interest-based targeting, and that gives you a whole lot of options even with a brick and mortar business. You could use Facebook to promote your company's website. Maybe generate some walk-in sales, right? Advertise about your services. You can start, maybe online business is an opportunity for you and you just haven't done it yet. Maybe what you sell is, you got the brick and mortar shop and you sell products that you could market online, but you haven't expanded to that. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to kind of catapult yourself up to that level. Affiliate marketers, you're going to like this. Facebook is very friendly to affiliate marketers. Google, But as long as the products that you're pushing fall within Facebook's little box that it puts products in, there's no problems. Okay, you can promote products and services. And really, as an affiliate, Facebook is ideal because you can, get yourself into a lot of niches. You can have products that are in a variety of niches. Organizations. Maybe you want to talk about your mission, causes, maybe you're doing a fundraiser, stuff like that. This is a great place because, again, it's community oriented. If you're you raise money for breast cancer, right, and you have a breast cancer awareness Facebook page, people that have had some kind of experience with that, maybe they've had cancer themselves, maybe their mother died or something from that, and they're interested in that and they want to help and support it. You can get a lot of friends that way, and then when you do have that fundraiser, bam, you talk about it. All your friends are there, they see it, they talk about it to their friends, and it grows out. And can become viral. Politicians. Yep, I know we love them and we hate them, don't we? But you need to do some campaign work. This is a great way to hit the users in your area geographically. Again, we can focus this down pretty sound. Artists, maybe bands, celebrities, people that just do some kind of performing art kind of thing. All these people use Facebook to talk about what they're doing currently, what they're going to be doing in the future. Maybe you cut a new album and you want to tell everybody about it. This is a great way to do it. You're going, like I mentioned, in a band that I'm in, created a Facebook page specifically for that band. Get local friends, and what do? Tell them, hey, we're going to be over at this place this Saturday. Come see us. Give them the date, all that kind of stuff. Now, the don't list. You do not want to use Facebook if you promote tobacco products. Remember, Facebook is very user-oriented, okay? So they want only the best for their members, and they're going to be very careful about advertising. Okay? If you promote pornographic material, don't even consider it. Anything alcohol related. If your ads are misleading and hypey, how about that one? That cut out a whole bunch of internet marketers right there. You can't do it. And they're going to, they reserve the right to check your ad out and say, you know what? That is a whole bunch of hype. Bam, you're gone. If you promote illegal products, you cannot use Facebook. If your products are scams, if it gets reported that this product does not do what it says and it is just a bogus product, they're not going to allow it. So if you fall into any of these categories, I'm not talking about getting your ad pulled. I'm talking about you will be banned. As in, I'm sorry, you can't advertise with us anymore. So you want to be very careful that if one of your products falls into these categories for whatever reason, don't use that to promote on Facebook. Now, you can use your other legitimate businesses, but you do not want to promote those products or services here. All right, in the next video, we are going to talk about the Facebook ad model. From a strictly business standpoint here, there's a couple of things that I want to go over because you might be inclined to think, if you haven't done a lot of advertising before, or if you've just tried to do the AdWords thing and you didn't really put a lot of thought into it, you probably had pretty mediocre results, and that's probably what you're going to get on Facebook if you don't step back and really think about this, okay? So it's not that just because it's going to cost you less and the ads are going to be targeted better, that doesn't mean every ad that you create is going to be an instant success and make you tons of money. You could flop it if you just approach it from, man, I need an ad, and throw something up there and get going with it. Okay, you want to do this really well, you want to make a lot of money, you need to take a little bit of time and construct your ad appropriately, and everything else that's in the whole sales funnel, your landing page and all that. Let's talk about, first off, what kinds of achievements, what kind of results are you expecting to get? One of the things that you need to think about, really when you're ready to launch any kind of advertising campaign, especially on Facebook, though, you want to have some goals set. You want to have some, things that you have written down, defined parameters, if you want to call it, something that you can measure or gauge your results by. Because if you just go in there shooting blindly, you don't know, wow, I had a good campaign, or this is a bad campaign, or anything like that. You want to set something in there before you ever even start, and you need to set something very realistic, and you need to have it down in writing, basically. Like, for example, I want to get a conversion rate of 1.5%. Okay, every 100 people that see my ad, I want to get at least 1.5 clicks. That way you have something to try to attain, and you've got something to measure, so that when you make a change later on, you'll be able to see, okay, I made this better now than the last one. So what is the purpose of your campaign in the first place? And I know you're thinking, man, dude, the purpose is that I make money. No, okay, that's not it. You have to be much more specific. You have to think about what it is that you're specifically trying to get and trying to get people to do. What's the purpose of your ad? Write that down. Is the purpose to get them to support my campaign? If I'm a politician or something, is the purpose to get them to just join my newsletter? Is the purpose to make a sale? I mean, think about this for a minute. Let's say you've got a landing page with an opt-in box, and then you've got a sales page. And what you want to do is send traffic to the landing page, and then you want to send them, after they opt in, to the sales page. Well, on the landing page, you're not trying to sell the product. On the landing page, you want to sell that opt-in. So if that's the real desired result on the landing page, then your ad needs to be tailored to that. Your ad does not try to sell the product either. Your ad needs to sell that opt-in, kind of like a pre-sell. So your ad would get them to click, and they come to that page where they have the opportunity to opt in, and everything is focused on get the opt-in. Then after they opt in, then you start marketing to them and try to sell them the product. But the point is, you have to have a clear understanding of what is the purpose of this campaign. What am I trying to get? What are the results that I want also? If I want to get 100 new people to opt in every single day, or do I want to get 1,000 people to sign up for my newsletter every week? Okay, but either way, you got to set realistic expectations. What do you think you can really attain? And let's see what it's going to take to attain that. And then you have something, again, that you can measure by. I set this way too high, I never got even close, or man, I blew that out of the water, I doubled my expectations. You need to have a good understanding of what your budget is. How much money are you going to be able to spend in order to get the results that you are looking for, what you expected? Let's say, I want 1,000 new opt-ins this month, okay? am I going to be, you kind of get an idea of, let's say that my conversion is 1.5%, and I want to get 1,000. So how many people am I going to have to show that ad to? And how many people from that are going to actually opt in? The number that I'm going to need, how much money am I going to have to spend in order to make that happen? You have to think about this kind of stuff. You got to think about it ahead of time. If I say, man, I want to get 1,000 new opt-ins this month, and I don't think about what is it going to cost to make that happen. If I don't have that money, then that's an unrealistic expectation, and I don't want to do that because I'm going to fall short. Some things that you need to think about. Remember that Facebook is pretty picky about its advertisers, okay, and the things that are going to show up there. You want to make sure you get the results, that you're looking for. You got to have, in mind the money that you're going to be needing to spend in order to generate those kinds of results. And you need to think really through the whole process. You need to think about what it is that you're going to be promoting. If you've only got one thing that you're selling, no problem, right? But if you're an online marketer or you're an affiliate marketer or something, you've got a variety of things that you're going to be promoting. You might want to, pick some bestsellers, things that go over really well. Maybe you're going to launch a campaign that has some new products that you want to start promoting, things like that. So the thing is, you need to understand very clearly in your mind what it is that you're going to be promoting. And, you don't just approach it blindly and say, I need to use Facebook for advertising and I need to promote something. No. Get something picked so that this is what I'm going to do. Maybe you want to use multiple ads. This is something you should definitely think about. You could, technically create a campaign that had different ad variations, and that will allow you to try some different tactics, try some different kinds of ads and see what works and what doesn't work. You can also tweak some of your ads so that maybe one ad appeals to a certain type of person, use those demographics. Another ad is more tailored towards another group of people. So use those demographics if that kind of marketing, would be beneficial. How long are you going to be running your ad? Do you have super deep pockets and you don't care and you just want to run it indefinitely to do some branding? Or do you want to run it, spend some money, and then see what you get from that? Consider that. Have that as a business plan. Make sure that your landing page is appropriate. They're going to get you clicks, okay? But they're not going to sell stuff for you, okay? Your landing page needs to do its job. Remember, it also needs to fit the rules, the model that Facebook lays out, okay? So nothing hypey. We're going to talk a little bit more about landing pages later on, so we'll get to that. But it's very, very important that your landing page does its job. Spend time and effort making sure that that landing page is there and that it does what it's supposed to do. What you might consider doing is a small test. Check out the landing page, see how well it works, and then you can specify your time frame. So run it for a couple of days maybe. See how it does. Consider tweaking something on the landing page, and then run that ad, run that campaign again for a couple more days, and see if you improved something. It's not something you want to just run headlong into and dump a bunch of money. The real marketers that have the biggest return on investment are the ones that test and tweak and test and tweak. Remember that Facebook is very picky about the kinds of ads that are going to show up on the website. So make sure that you know those rules inside and out, and that you make sure that everything in your ad and on your landing page and all that kind of stuff, make sure you follow to the T everything that they have set up. You want to make sure that you set some reasonable expectations. Your campaigns are not always going to be a winner. Okay, they're not always going to do as good as you would hope that they do. Maybe it's a bad headline. Maybe the body of the ad or the image just doesn't grab people's attention. Remember that we've always got, if you're doing what you should, you've always got an opportunity to do some tweaking. Okay. Now, I am not saying set your expectations real low just so that you can hit them. Okay. I know that is a technique that some people use to make themselves feel better, and that's cool, if you want to do that. But I prefer to set something kind of realistic. And if you're brand new in this, that'll be kind of hard to do because you don't know what to expect really. But if you think that you're going to spend $10 and make $10,000 in sales, that's unrealistic. So something that you need to give a little bit of thought to. Do you have any other strategies that would work very well with your Facebook marketing? Like having a fan page, having a page set up so that you can generate friends and get them, in essence, to do a lot of advertising for you. Like we've talked about the organic stuff a little bit, how that a friend liking your page shows their friends, and their friends can check it out, and maybe they become your friends and they like it as well. So definitely be considering some free Facebook traffic. And on your own website, one thing that you can do is you can create a Facebook badge that you can put on your site so that people, when they come there, they see, oh, they're on Facebook, and they can click it and they can come to your Facebook page, and that allows you to possibly, get more friends, that more exposure on Facebook based on a relationship that, they might have already checked your website out for some reason or another. Consider split testing with, the same demographics. Like, let's talk about running similar ads, 2 ads to the same exact group. Okay, you can see which ad works the best. And then you can also have ads that are specific for different groups, different demographics, and be testing within those. So I might start out with 1 ad, right? And then I want to target 3 different demographics with a different kind of ad. So I take that 1 ad and I tweak it for those 3 different demographics. Then within those 3 different demographics, I take the ad that is there and I make an ad variation. Right? So now let's say I just do 1 extra one. So I've got really 6 different ads that I'm running for 3 different demographics, and I see which ones work the best. And then when I find that out, I drop the one that doesn't work as well. That way I know that I'm getting the most for my money. Don't forget to tweak things. This is, again, the way that all business owners maximize the return on investment, is by spending the time tweaking. If you think for 1 minute that you can sit down and write an ad and that's it, it's a winner and everything's fantastic, and you walk away and you're going to be rich, I got some huge wake-up call coming to you, because that's not the way it works. That's not the way real marketers do it. You have to run it, tweak it, see which was better, and constantly perfect the system. And with these things in mind, in the next video, let's talk about who is your target. Who are you really trying to reach? To really, be as successful as you can with any type of advertising, one of the things that you need to know is who is your target. Who are you actually trying to reach? There are products that, can appeal to whoever, like toilet paper, right? And there are products that are going to fit a more narrow type of demographic. And in order for you to reap the benefits of Facebook, you need to really understand exactly who it is that you're trying to get your product in front of. Who is that person that uses your product, that you know this type of individual is who I'm targeting. And it's best, really, if you can do it in such a way that you have in your mind one individual. So you will, if you have a product that your individual is a guy with a mohawk, he's about 24 years old, he's got tattoos all over his body, he's got a leather biker jacket on. If you know, you get it down specifically to that, this is my target. If you can target it like that, then you have a better opportunity of, number one, sculpting your ads to appeal to that individual, and number two, selecting the right demographic information to get your ad in front of the right kind of people. All right, because now that doesn't mean other people don't buy your product. Yeah, sure they do. But when you think this is my target, this is my customer, you should try to have something in your mind, an actual individual, not necessarily a group of people, an individual. And that individual might be a single mother. She's 34 years old, and you can get as detailed as you want. She's blonde. She's a teacher. She drives, a Camaro, whatever you want, right? But try to, and it's not that you're making it up. You want to try to find out who is your customer, who buys these products. Also consider, are there people out there that would be buying your product as a gift? Is that something that, like if you sell toys and stuff, obviously there's going to be not only parents, but grandparents, uncles and aunts, things like that could possibly be interested in your product. So is that an option? Are you a brick and mortar store? Do you want to do some geographical targeting? Is the product or service that you have available something that could appeal to everyone globally, or is it something where you need to narrow it down? You need to be able to do that, because there's no point in having an ad. If you're selling something, a service, let's say that you only service a 50-mile radius of your actual store, there's no point in having that ad displayed all over the world. Okay, you're going to pay for those clicks. You're not going to use them. Split test demographics with multiple ads. I've mentioned previously the importance of doing some testing. Remember that you have the potential here, the ability to select different demographics and multiple ads within those demographics. It's very important that you consider doing that, because certain kinds of ads will appeal to different age groups. It'll appeal to different genders. Even though you're selling the same product, there's certain things that you can do that will appeal to who you're targeting. So make sure you take advantage of that. You have to have a good understanding, a clear definition of what your market is, who your market is, before you sit down to try to create your ads. It's going to help you focus on, what type of action you're trying to get. It's going to help you make a connection with them. Yeah, this is why it's so important to sit down and do this planning prior to just making an ad. Who am I appealing to? What am I trying to get out of them? What's my desired action? These things are very, very important, so that when you sculpt that ad, it matches up even better. And, of course, we're still going to be tweaking the ad. But imagine if you don't sit down and think about this stuff. You don't sit down and consider who it is that you're targeting, and you just create an ad. It's not going to be very effective. Let's talk about budget. We want to go over a little bit of what it takes to get, your ad displayed, because we kind of have to try to factor things in with what it is that we're going to actually be paying. What's actually going on behind the scenes is you're bidding on what you would be willing to pay to get your ad displayed in a certain scenario. Okay, let's say demographics match, all that kind of stuff, and this is where I want to show up, right? Now, there's going to be other people that also want to show up there. So what happens is you put in your bid, and you're either going to pay do the pay-per-click kind of model where you're paying per click, or you're going to do the CPM model, which is per 1,000 impressions. So if you just want to get your ad displayed, no matter how many clicks, 1,000 impressions, you pay a certain amount of money. Obviously, you don't know how many clicks, necessarily you're going to receive. You might get a lot, you might get less, and you pay the same amount. With the pay-per-click model, you're going to pay just when you get a click. So what happens is when a viewer comes to a page to load it, Facebook goes out and it sees who all wants to advertise on that page. And this happens super duper fast, right? And it checks out the amounts, the bid amounts, and the highest bidder is, in a nutshell, the highest bidder is going to win. There's some other factors that we're going to talk about here, but for the most part, the higher bidder, let's say, is going to win. You don't, though, necessarily pay your high bid amount. Let's say you bid 30 cents on something. Somebody else bid 20 cents on something. You're going to pay less than 30 cents because it's going to just bump you up to whatever it takes to beat out the other guy that was bidding 20 cents. Okay, so it doesn't automatically bump you up to your 30 cents. It just does whatever it needs to do to win. Okay. Well, one of the factors that it's going to take into account, though, in addition to that, is past performance. Because it's not just about money. The more successful an ad is, the more likely it's going to be that that ad is going to win other bids for placement there. Okay, that doesn't mean that a new ad is going to not win. Okay, but it's not going to necessarily show up as much. What's going to happen is Facebook is going to look at how often does this ad actually get a click. And Google does the same thing in this respect, because if, let's say you're bidding 30 cents and some other guy's bidding 20 cents, but every time your ad shows up, nobody clicks on it. And, maybe 3 or 4 or 5% of the time, they click on the other guy's ad that's doing 20 cents. Well, Facebook's going to say, okay, I can show this guy and never make any money, or I can show this guy and make that 20 cents pretty frequently. It's going to say, you know what, I want to go with where the money's at. And that's kind of the way that Google operates as well. So your past performance is factored in there. There also is a quality of the ad. That's going to be determined really by the users. The more people that like an ad, the more likely that ad is to win, in a bidding situation. So it's a good idea to create compelling ads and build up a good reputation so that people like the ad. They click that little like button right next to the ad. Your budget is something that you definitely need to keep in mind. But Facebook actually takes that into account as well. If you're, let's say your stated budget needs to be something that is well within your abilities. Okay, it needs to be something that you can afford. But you need to kind of factor out, this is how much money I'm going to spend on advertising this month, and set that dollar amount in your campaign. Are you going to possibly run multiple ads at the same time? Maybe you're going to hit different demographics, and you want to have multiple campaigns going. If that's the case, you've got to divide up your budget for every one of those campaigns, right? If you say, I'm going to spend, $200 this month on advertising, and you're going to run 4 different campaigns, that means $50 a piece. So you need to make sure that, you have that entered in there correctly so that your campaign, it matches up. And let me give you a little bit of a technical tip here to help you maximize your revenue here. When you first start out with this, you don't know necessarily what ads are going to do well, right? So what you can do is you can lower your bid amounts so your ads aren't going to show up as much. But once you start to get some stats, you'll be able to tell, okay, yeah, this ad is outperforming these other ones. You might not be getting a whole lot of traffic because you're trying to be careful, right, with your money. Well, So all you do then is once you get some good stats there, you can say, okay, this is the ad that works better. Then go ahead and amp up your bid amounts and get your ad out there more. But now you know you're using a more effective ad. So that's a good thing that you would probably want to consider doing. Also, the campaign duration. How long are you going to be doing this? Okay. A lot of times ads, the whole campaign thing, it takes a little while to get rolling and start seeing some revenue, start seeing some profitability. You can start seeing, man, in just a couple of days, I'm seeing sales increase dramatically. Great. But you have to be able to watch that campaign, be willing to tweak some things and not expect that you're going to be getting instant sales that day. Okay. It may happen, but it may not. Then we want to consider our bid amount. How much is it worth to you to get clicks? As a business owner, whatever you're promoting, you have to understand that there's going to be a point that something is profitable and that beyond that, it becomes unprofitable. Let me give you a little bit of a scenario here, a little example. Let's say you're an affiliate marketer and you're promoting this product. Let's just say it is 16 gigabyte thumb drives, okay? And you will make $5 off of the sale of one of these thumb drives. Well, that's very unlikely because I think you can get these for $20 now, but we'll use that as an example. If you know that out of 100 people that come to your landing page, one person will buy that thumb drive, then you can say, it is worth to me to spend $5 to get 100 clicks. Right? That's like your break-even point. So if I have to spend $4 to get 100 clicks, or in other words, 4 cents a piece, then fantastic. I'm good with that. I'm making some money. Okay, I'm profitable. Well, if I have to spend $6 to get that traffic, not worth it to me because I'm losing money. So there are some things you need to factor in. You have to try to, hopefully you can get some data to estimate at least how much traffic you need to make sales, and how, like, if you can tell out of 100 clicks I make $30, then you can run the math and you can decide what it is worth to you to bid on different scenarios to get that traffic. You have to figure that out. You have to calculate it. I can't tell you bid this amount. You have to figure out what it's worth to still be profitable to you. Now we have also bid ranges. Winning bids are selected based not only on the bid amount, but also the quality of the ad and how well that ad has performed in the past, right? Well, Facebook is going to give you suggested bid ranges to kind of help you win the auctions and get a placement in there. The thing is that a lot of times those ranges are going to be a little bit higher than what it would really take to get in there, okay? Maybe there's going to be a niche that you can get into that doesn't have a whole lot of competition, and you can bid low and still get plenty of placement and not be paying a bunch of money. If you find a niche that is very competitive on Facebook, they're going to give you recommendations, and you might have to go with those recommendations to get placement, and you might even have to bid higher in order to get placement and beat out others. So that's something that just happens. So it doesn't matter necessarily the bidding range that you select. You want to take the time to follow up and take a look at your results. What are you actually achieving? Did you set your bids too low and you need to bump them up? Are they way too high and you could still get placement by lowering them? You have to track that stuff. Take all of this stuff into consideration when you start to think about what you're going to be spending, what you're willing to spend on your advertising on Facebook. In the next video, we'll take a look at some rules and tips. Facebook is very, very strongly leaning towards its users, okay, its community. So it will not bend over backwards to help an advertiser or advertisers in general when that means sacrificing the experience of their users. Now, they are, don't get me wrong, they are advertiser friendly. They're more than happy to help you make some money and get some more traffic. They're not afraid to ban people either. They're not afraid to ban advertisers. They're not afraid to reject ads. But they do want to work with you without compromising their users' experience. Okay, so you have to understand that. Let's talk about some of the basic Facebook rules. There really are a lot of rules. You can read the guidelines that they have for ads, and you can check out all of that stuff. But there's a few things that we really need to have nailed down pretty good. One of those is your destination URLs. The landing page, or where you actually send the traffic when they click that ad. That landing page is very, very important as far as Facebook is concerned. And if you mess up on the landing page, they can get your ad rejected just for that. They'll reject you if they don't like the ad. The URL has to be the actual domain that is in your ad. Okay, you can't do any kind of redirect kind of stuff. You need to send them exactly there. It's got to have, the landing page has to have the information that the ad is talking about. So nothing misleading at all. And they are, they're checking this out. They're not just letting it go and an Autobot checks it out. They're going to check it out. They're not going to tolerate pop-ups, pop-overs, pop-unders, any of that kind of stuff. Mouse trapping, fake closing pages, none of that stuff is allowed. You can request, personal information like emails and names and stuff like that, but only, for the purpose of a legitimate transaction. You're not going to, if you harvest people's emails and sell them, you're going to get in a lot of trouble. References to Facebook. They're a little bit picky about how their name is used, okay? Like, for example, you can say, now on Facebook. That's fine. But if you give any inkling whatsoever that Facebook is endorsing your product, then you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. And that goes for the ads and landing pages. The copy in your ads cannot ever be misleading whatsoever. It needs to be very clear, and you can't have any unsubstantiated claims. Otherwise, the ad is going to get rejected by Facebook. You can't threaten, insult, harass people. Autoplay ads, can't have that. And you got to be careful about even the language that you use. You need to use proper language. Facebook also has some types of content in ads that it will ban. If the advertisement seems that it's misleading, deceptive, or just not true. Also, they don't allow profanity. They don't allow slanderous comments, tobacco products, firearms, weapons, that kind of stuff. I think we've already covered that. No scams, no hate speech, and things that are related to that. It's pretty well understood, I think, that kind of stuff. So, hopefully your business doesn't have to do with any of that. You've also got to watch your targeting, who you're targeting. They don't allow, for example, alcohol advertisements that target people in countries where the targeted audience is under the legal drinking age. Advertisements about contraceptives and things like that. You can only target 18 and up. So if you think that your, whatever it is that you're promoting is one of those questionable things, then you definitely need to check out, their rules, read up on that, and make sure that everything's going to be okay. Now let's look at some of the standards that Facebook gives us. The good news is they really don't have a lot of fine print. Okay, it's all pretty much above board. but you might want to glance over the requirements and read them so you can just, it might save you a lot of frustration later on. So you have a good idea of what's required and what you can and can't do. So go ahead and, give the requirements a little read. It's not very long, fortunately. First thing you want to do is check out your landing page in great detail. A lot of times, at least most of the time, I do it myself, advertisers create their landing pages before they try to do an ad campaign, right? So what you got to do is make it a point that until you are very familiar with what Facebook is going to allow, you got to make it a point to go back and check out that landing page, make sure that it falls, within the guidelines. Now, after you know these requirements, then the next time you want to create a landing page, you're probably going to be a little bit more careful. And you wouldn't be the first person to create a landing page and then create a different one, specially modified for Facebook, that makes sure that it meets the requirements. Make sure that your ad copy is straightforward, everything. You can't have anything false or misleading. Say who you are, what you're doing, why the user needs to click through and check out your product. Just keep it simple and focused, and you should get approved very quickly. Watch your grammar. Facebook is actually very serious about the proper use of language in its ads. So you need to make sure you don't have any spelling mistakes, use the right sentences and spacing and sentence structure and things like that. Just, as if you were trying to make your English teacher happy. You don't want to do things like capitalize every letter in a word just to emphasize it. They don't like that. And now here's one that is a bit different than Google, the use of symbols. A lot of times we try to use a $sign or something, or a pound or something to draw attention. Don't get cute with your Facebook ads. They just don't like it. Correct targeting. You want to be very careful that you select the desired target audience that ad copy is going to be relevant to and acceptable. Again, you try to target 15-year-olds with contraceptive products and you're going to be in big trouble, okay? As far as the ad's not going to make it. And you might get yourself to the point that they, just ban your account entirely. Make sure you review your account information. Once you've got that ad ready to go, take time to fill out everything else. Make sure all your ducks are in a row there. Payment problems, account information that's not valid, that can hold up your ads. And let's say that you accidentally did a wrong phone number and they try to contact you and it doesn't go through, and they're going to get suspicious. It's going to cause all kinds of problems and headaches. Okay, so just review your information, make sure it's all accurate. Now, let's get a little bit more specific on the landing page itself. Your advertisement copy is very important, right? Just as important is your landing page, possibly even more, because this is going to impact your ability to gain approval from Facebook. Obviously, the landing page also is going to affect your ability to close sales, to make money, to do what you're trying to do with the traffic in the first place. So, it doesn't matter if you got to balance this. You got to meet Facebook requirements and you got to be able to sell, whether you're selling an opt-in or selling a product. If you haven't made your landing page yet, or you're going to be reviewing it to make sure that it's qualified for Facebook, double check your copy. Okay? That is essentially an extension of your ad. If your ad talks about children's shoes on sale, then the landing page needs to have children's shoes as its main focus. So keep the ad landing page relationship very relevant. Again, you cannot have any pop-ups. You want a very clean landing page that focuses on one thing, either selling your product or selling somebody else's product as an affiliate. If there are any popovers, pop-unders, any of that kind of stuff, they got to come off of there because you're not going to get approved. You might even have to create, a whole new landing page specifically for Facebook that does not feature the pop-ups. Because pop-ups are powerful, okay? Let's just admit that. They do work. So if you're going to use them in your marketing in other aspects, then that means you're just going to have to create another copy of that page without the pop-up and send your Facebook traffic there. You want to make sure that any images that you use on your landing page are appropriate. And I would say use images. You want to create a good user experience, but you don't want to violate any of Facebook's policies. So the things that Facebook, the kinds of content that Facebook does not approve of, you don't want that on your landing page. Make sure that all your copy on the landing page is very clear and defined as far as what its purpose is. That's better for your Facebook approval, and actually it helps you close sales. If you have 100,000 hits come to your website, but your landing page can't convert that traffic, then it's not really doing you any good. And let's talk a little bit about that, closing the deal with your landing page. You want your pages to be visually appealing. The wording itself is what's going to, sell whatever it is that you're trying to promote. And when I say sell, I'm not necessarily talking about making money. I'm talking about whatever your call to action is on that landing page. If it's to get an opt-in, or if it's to, get somebody to sign up for something, get them to join, get them to buy right there, get them to check something else out. Whatever your call to action is, your words are going to sell that. But the graphics that are on the page, they need to be clean, professional, and support that. They need to lend a helpful hand to creating something that is visually, aesthetically, something that we would like to look at. You don't want to make crazy wild colors that make people nauseous. You don't want the website to be super busy. You just want a nice, clean, direct, attractive, eye-pleasing type landing page. Something that somebody can come there and it's not going to hurt them to continue looking at your page, right? And believe it or not, I see lots of these on the internet still today. So images and video do sell. If you're going to sell products, your landing page needs to have some very nice, attractive pictures of those products. And if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a video is worth 1,000 pictures. So definitely want to consider that. You want your ad to be focused and your landing page to be focused and relevant. One thing that advertisers have tried to do on occasion is have an ad that is somewhat misleading. When people come to the landing page, they find out, wow, this is something totally different, and I'm not sure what to do, and I'm not even sure that I'm interested in this, and I definitely don't know what to do next. The worst thing that you could possibly have is, and you think this is straightforward, right? But the worst thing you could possibly have is where somebody comes to a page and they're like, yeah, I think I need that. What do I do? And they don't know what to do next. And believe it or not, that does happen. So definitely a defined call to action telling them what to do is something that is critical for your landing page. A lot of times, having less content on a landing page can actually be more effective. So carefully selecting images or videos, carefully selecting the wording that you use, and not cluttering the landing page up and making it very easy to see what it is that I need to do. Making it easy also to digest the landing page. Making it easy to go through it. This is all wrapped up together, not only in making it aesthetically pleasing, but in selecting powerful phrases. Okay, you can say more a lot of times with 5 words than you can say with a paragraph if you don't think it through. So less is more, and keep it simple, right? The KISS scenario, keep it simple, stupid, or something like that. Or keep it stupid, simple. That's a good one too. You have to kind of balance things out for the lowest common denominator, right? And a lot of times what I find is having a landing page that's all cluttered up with just you want to cram everything in there about your product. It usually hurts you, okay? Same thing goes for making wild, outlandish claims. A lot of times that hurts you. If you throw in a bunch of hype and stuff, they're not, most of them aren't going to buy it. Yeah, there are some people in the world that fall for that kind of stuff, but I don't think most of them do. So keep things simple and easy. If you got signups, if you've got order buttons, anything like that, make sure they're very visible above the fold and attractive and right there, and it's pretty obvious what to do with them. Okay? So now that you're kind of up to speed on what Facebook's requirements are and got some ideas of what needs to go into your ad and landing page, in the next video let's talk about the actual anatomy of a Facebook ad. Facebook ads have a little bit of flexibility to a degree because they do not require keywords, really. Like with Google, the thing is keyword, keyword, keyword. So you bid on keywords, you want keywords in your title, you want keywords in your ad copy, you want keywords in your, the visible URL there, all that kind of stuff. With Facebook, not really a big deal, okay? But you don't have a whole lot of real estate, so that means you need to focus, really think through your ads and make sure that they are powerful, that they have a strong impact. Plan your headlines. If you ask any newspaper reporter or editor, they're going to tell you that the headline is probably the most important part of a story because that's going to be what people decide whether they want to read the story or not. It's based on the headline. Use a thesaurus. If there are, words that you want to use that are maybe too long, they take up too many characters, or you can't think of maybe exactly the right word, you want something that is a little bit stronger, you look for synonyms. Use your thesaurus and grab some synonyms. Keep things simple. You've got, 25 characters to work with here on the headline. So that's not a whole lot of space to get, wicked creative. But what you want to do is be very straightforward and tell the viewers what it is that really should excite them and make them want to read that the rest of that copy. Maybe ask a question. Facebook ads are not keyword dependent, right? So, if you don't want to do a newspaper type headline, maybe you can ask them a question in the headline, and that question will prompt them. If you target it right, that question is going to be something that, for example, let me give you an example. Let's say you're going to target the guitar players. You might ask the question, do you make these, come up with a number, do you make these 7 guitar sins? Something like that, so that if you know that they're interested in it anyway, they're into guitar stuff, just provoke their curiosity. Use words that sell. The word free, the word discount, things like that catch people's attention. Save is another good one. Act now, that's another one. New is a lot of times a good catchy headline. Use headlines that are going to start the selling process. So declarative phrases can work extremely well here if they're nice, short, and punchy. We want to create a good environment, so the graphics that you use can be very, very important. Right after the headline, this is probably number 2, is that graphic needs to make an impact. It's not just for branding, right? You don't just put your logo there. Maybe, you can do an ad without an image if you want to, but having that image is going to, get you better results guaranteed. Obviously, having, a professional photographer create an image of your product is going to be the best solution. If you can't do that, grab your camera and do the best that you can. But you want to have a good quality image for your ad. A lot of times having people in the picture sells very well because it is a little bit more personal. Okay. Now, it has to be relevant. You don't put a picture of a woman in a bikini just to grab attention and the product has nothing to do with that. It's like a shaving cream or something. You need to have it relevant because remember, Facebook is social oriented. It's a community. The images need to be simple. They don't allow a whole lot of space for you anyway, and you're not going to be, it's a fairly small little thumbnail, so if you clutter it up, then you're not going to convey a message. So focus on one thing that you want to get across. Definitely do use color. We want the image to be very colorful. That tends to draw the user's eyes, and it can also help them be a little more interested in it once they actually see it. And just a reminder here that images are sales tools. So selecting the right kind of image can actually mean making more conversions. If you were in a political campaign and you were marketing a politician, you're probably going to put a picture of them in it, like a headshot kind of thing. You wouldn't take a picture of them when they first wake up and get out of bed, right? You take a picture of them once they're ready for the day. That's the same kind of thing. You want to put whatever products or services or whatever you're offering, put them in their best light. Now let me give you some tips. I happen to be an amateur photographer, so I do this kind of thing quite a bit, and I teach on Photoshop. So I know a little bit about this kind of stuff, and I will give you some tips. Crop things nice and close. What that means is you want to make it kind of tight so that the image itself, the product or whatever it is that you're trying to highlight, is as big as it possibly can. And a lot of times what photographers do, if you want to do a nice shot of a person, you don't necessarily do their whole entire head. You might crop it in real tight where it's just like, their eyes, from their eyes down to their mouth, and the rest of it is just completely filling up the space that you have there. Remove any obstructions. All that means is look through the camera at what it is you're going to take a picture of. Is there anything in the picture that does not need to be there? Okay, is there anything that the picture would look better without? That's kind of one of the big differences between a pro photographer and an amateur photographer, is the amateur photographer is just taking snapshots of whatever's there. The pro photographer looks at the scene and says, hey, you know what? That pen that's on the floor right there, that doesn't need to be there. Let's get rid of it. Lighting is also something that's very important. You want to, a lot of times people need to shoot inside. Very good, but try to make sure that you've got, good lighting. Maybe if you have a small product that you're taking a picture of, take it near a window that gets some sunlight. And this is a little trick, by the way. If you have some shears that go over the window, a lot of times if it's a bright sunny day, those shears can actually diffuse the light, give you a very nice natural lighting. But lighting is very important. If you make sure that everything is well lit, you get a nice clear shot and it looks aesthetically pleasing. Shoot a lot of pictures too. Once you get the scene, the lighting, everything is just right. If you're doing a person or a product or whatever, shoot lots and lots and lots of pictures because that, gives you a lot to choose from, and maybe one just turns out beautiful. And that's another secret about photography too. Photographers do not. You see in a magazine, picture of a woman on the front page, right? They took like 50 or 100 shots, and they just picked the best one. If you're not a professional photographer, you want to get the best results that you possibly can. That means think about the shot itself. You don't just do, point, shoot, click, I'm done. Is there some kind of background that would help enhance the product, make it stand out a little bit more? Is this background too busy and it distracts from the product? Or is this background too simple? Or is it just right? All that kind of stuff needs to be thought through. What angle is going to be best? You can use, if you want to change backgrounds, a little trick here. You can go to a hobby store and get those big sheets of paper, and a lot of times they have colored paper. And you can take that paper and you can kind of prop it up against a wall, let the paper come down and curl on the floor, and then place your product right on the floor there on the paper. What that'll give you is like a seamless background where you can't see the background with a nice complementary color and the proper lighting. That looks like a professional shot. You need to be very picky. You want to shoot a lot of pictures, and you want to make sure that you pick the best. The nice thing about digital photography, folks, is this. It doesn't cost you anything to shoot 100 photos. Back in the day, they had to be careful because they had real film to deal with. But now, just shoot as many as you want. If you don't like what you got, then go back to the drawing board. Shoot again. Facebook rules, you got to keep these in the back of your mind. The landing pages, the ad copy, all that kind of stuff has to meet Facebook's requirements, and so do images that you use. You want to make sure they're not offensive or racy or anything like that. And then we've also got clarity. If you've got images that are blurry, or they're too cluttered, or they're dark, they didn't turn out, the exposure wasn't good, don't even consider using them. Okay, you want nice, sharp, clear, clean, professional-looking images. Let's say now that you've got your ad created and you're really happy with it, okay? Does that mean, bam, this is it, I quit now, just load this up and I'm done and just make as much money as I possibly can with that ad? Not if you're a real marketer, it doesn't mean that. Real marketers do split testing. Split testing involves making changes to your ad and documenting those changes to see what helped and try to get the best performing ad. The fact is, check this out, not all ads work the same. If you just change one thing in an ad and you run the two, one of them will perform better than the other most of the time. Now, there could be cases where it doesn't make any difference really, but that's not usually the case. So here's what we do. The things that we want to test the headline. And what this would mean is we take an ad, we like this ad, we've put it together. We now create another ad exactly the same, except we use a different headline. So then we will let the first ad maybe run for a set number of exposures, a few hundred, till you can get some good data, some stats, and we see how many times it was clicked. Then we let the second ad run with the different headline. We see how many times it was clicked. Then, do we stop there? Absolutely not. We take that winning ad, the winning headline, and then we create another version of that ad with the new winning headline, and we use a different image. Now we do the same thing. We let this new ad run the same amount of times and see what percentage of click-throughs we got. Then we do the same thing with the copy. We have the best headline, the best image, and then we change the copy. There's one thing that's very important about this. When you do split testing, you only change one thing at a time. The reason is you have no way of knowing what was the element that made the difference if you change a bunch of different things. So if you try two totally different ads, you don't know what it is that made the difference. If it was the headline or the images or what. So you change one thing, you let it run, you see how it performs, and then whatever the winner is, that's what you use to mold for the next test. And you want to be patient with this. It is going to take a while, not only for getting results, but it's going to take a while for you to see, how effective it was in terms of you actually making sales, right? If you got some kind of opt-in and there's a long sales funnel process and you're not really expecting to make sales for a few days anyways, because you're selling them with an email autoresponder or something like that, you got to be patient with it. And also don't just make a decision after you get like 100 impressions. Oh, this ad stinks or this one's okay. You want to get, a fair amount where you can say, this had a lot of traffic, it had an opportunity, and these are the results. Up next, let's talk about bidding strategies. I want to talk to you a little bit about bidding strategies now. Facebook gives you two models, the pay-per-click and CPM, which is pay for impressions. You're actually paying for 1,000 impressions. Both of these types of advertisings offer their own advantages, but you do want to make some educated decisions here on which you decide to go with. The CPM model, which is paying for impressions, is very low-cost bidding because it's not performance-based. You're just going to get the exposure regardless, and you pay the same amount for the exposure whether or not you get clicks or not. It might be a good viable option for if you want to do some branding or something like that and you're not really concerned about getting clicks. If you want to get clicks though, then it may not be the best solution for you unless you have a killer ad. If you have an ad, like one of the things that I always tell people is if you do a pay-per-click ad campaign, right, and you find out that your ad gets like crazy conversions, then you may want to consider doing a CPM with it because you will actually end up paying less. Gives you great exposure. So, if you want to do a brand name, like I said, if you want to start generating buzz about a product, if you get an ad that's out there 162,000 times a day, it's hard for people not to notice it. And we're talking about a whole lot of page views on Facebook. If your niche is getting a lot of exposure, a lot of interest, and you can get that ad in front of the right people, the click-through rate on your ad can be phenomenal. And again, with the CPM model, that can be financially very beneficial to you because you pay the same rate for those 1,000 impressions regardless of how many times people click on them. That's why it's traditionally it's lower cost because the ad just shows. You don't really know if people saw it. You don't know even if it happens to appear on the lower half of a page and they don't ever even scroll down, it still counts as an impression. So that's why it's a lower cost. But again, if you can get good placement and you can get the good exposure, it can be a great model. CPM or CPC is cost per click. This is where you bid and it's performance based. You're going to bid a certain amount and you will pay if you get a click. Very easy to budget this way because you know that you paid a certain amount, and if you know your conversion rates on your sales or landing page and you know your profit, it's easy to calculate what you can spend on your CPC advertising. And okay, if I get this many clicks, if I get 100 clicks, I will make 2 sales. And you can budget, effectively. You know what your profit is. If I make $15, $20 per sale, I now know how much I can afford to pay for those 100 clicks. When it comes to costs, you need to try your best to budget yourself and estimate something that is going to be, at least a reasonable facsimile of what you're actually going to be paying. Facebook is very good about adhering to what you say you want to spend every day. So understand, and that can be a double-edged sword, right? You can, if you're doing really well, you can actually cut yourself off in any given day if you set your limit too low. But it's very good because with a lot of other advertising opportunities, I won't mention any names, but their initials are Google, you can set a limit and they might not pull your ad in time and you can pay considerably more. They have attempted to fix that, at least because of a lawsuit. Let's talk about keeping the cost down. Limit the number of ads that you run, because keep in mind here, the more ads you're running, if you've got a certain amount of a budget that you want to spend daily, then, hey, you got to divide that up between all of those ads. Lower the daily budget amounts. Again, if you're on a budget, keep it down low. Facebook is going to recommend like $50 a day, but a lot of people have done well with much less than that. So, start out low and see how you can do. See if you can start making some money. And I always advise people, if you're first starting out with this and you're not sure about it, start low. And then when you do get the system perfected and okay, for every dollar I'm spending, I make $2. Well, then take some of that money once you get that first, ClickBank commission check, reinvest some of that and ramp up your advertising even more. Once you got a proven system, that's the way to go. Consider using the CPM model, especially once you find out how well an ad converts. And then also, you can lower your bid amount and see if you're still able to get placement. This is an effective way to, still get yourself in there, but not be having to pay so much. A lot of times what you'll find is that you go in there with a bid amount and beat out everybody else, and you're up there and you're in the first place and you're spending a lot of money. And if you cut your bid in half, essentially spending half the amount of advertising, you can still, you can still show up. You might not get the top position, but you'll still be on the page, and a lot of times your click-throughs won't even go down. So after you get yourself, what you got to do is get the campaign going, get yourself some impressions, get some data so that you can do some tweaking and testing, and then you start to make some adjustments so that you're spending the least amount that you can possibly spend and make the most out of that. Up next, we're going to talk about tracking. Remember those goals we set earlier on? Well, we didn't do that just for a training exercise. We have to, once we've got everything in place, we've got to go back and we've got to see how well is our campaign doing. And we do that with the Ad Manager. Check this out. Campaign names. We can see the different campaigns that we've got running. Our status. Not all your campaigns are going to be active at once, more than likely, because a lot of times we'll shut some off when we're doing some other stuff. This lets you go through and see which campaigns are running, which ones you're paying for. The last update date. This is going to help you track multiple ads, the things that you have done to make changes and edit them. And also you can see which ads have not been changed and for how long. Budget amounts. This shows you a set per campaign amount for the daily budget. So it's a nice snapshot of what you got going on. Clicks. How about this? The number of clicks exactly that a particular ad has generated. So you use that in conjunction with maybe your website tracking tools. That'll tell you actual sales and conversion rate. So you can know, okay, here's this ad got clicked. This ad, when it gets clicked 50 times, I make 1 sale. Okay, because you can go to your website and you can see, okay, here's the amount of clicks that I got. Here's the amount of sales that I had. Impressions. This is a nice feature. How many times has your ad showed up on Facebook pages? So this way I can see this is how many impressions I've had. This is how many clicks I've had. So we know what our conversion rate is on the ad itself. The click-through rate percentage. It's actually what I just talked to you about, the clicks and impressions. That's calculated for you in the click-through rate. So this is, I got 100 impressions, I got 5 clicks. That gives you a 5% click-through rate. Average CPC. How much has each click cost you on average? Because sometimes, you pay more and sometimes you pay less. So this is going to average it out so you know what your advertising per click is costing you and how much you have actually spent in advertising. And then the stat ranges. This allows you to see the lifetime, stats of a particular ad. So how well it has performed over, the past day, the past week, lifetime, that kind of thing. In this, our last video, we're just going to go over some things to help you tidy up Facebook and get it performing to its peak. One thing that you want to do in your Facebook account is create a group page. The group page is very easy to manage. It allows you to do a whole lot of hands-on kind of stuff and create, an online version of you or your products or your services. Gives you better targeting. If you're using a personal Facebook account to launch your ads, running your main account as a place as a contact place can actually be a little bit overwhelming from a user's standpoint. And you don't want, probably you don't want to see your customers seeing all the wall posts from, your high school buddies and stuff like that. So having that group page is a way to keep your business section over there on your business section. We can promote multiple products at once with ease. If you have group pages, multiple products, each product will have its own group, okay? And you can sell totally different stuff. Basic info. Facebook is going to walk you through creating the basic, the group page itself, and you just have to enter in some very basic information during that process. Let's look at that a little bit. The basic info. The group name, maybe a description, the type of group. You can put in some news, stuff like that. Just basically form filling kind of stuff. And then you can customize the group if you want it to be open. This has to do with access. Open means anybody can join the group and anybody can invite others, right? If you want to get a big following, obviously this is the one that you want to do. Closed. This is going to give you the opportunity to have just an administrator approve new members joining. Now, anybody else can actually search for the group and they can see the group description and they can, make a request to join it, but it's going to have to be approved by the administrator. And then the last one is secret. This is going to hide the group from searches. Only people that are invited by the admin are going to be able to get in here. So if you've got maybe some kind of exclusive promotion or something like that you want to make available just to a very tight-knit group of people. And after you got your page up, you want to invite people. You want to promote these pages as much as you possibly can. Get a link on your website. Add it to, even business cards, email signatures, any other advertising that you do. Consider putting something in there about your group page. You might even consider doing a little bit of advertising on Facebook just to get people to join your group, because having people in that group, it's almost like, it's a lot like actually having a list, an email list. Now, interacting with fans, this is pretty important because, again, Facebook is a very social environment. So we want to participate and make it a two-way thing. promoting sales. We can let our fans know about, fans and friends about promotions that we've got going on our website. We can just write on our wall, bam, it's all there, they see it. Use Facebook as kind of like a little mini blog to let people know about helpful information. Write to them, about something that they might enjoy reading that would benefit them. Create a community. Enable posting on your wall for members. That way, they feel like they are a part of the community. So they come to your group page and they're able to actually put comments on there. They're going to love that, okay? Build up relationships. When you create a fan page, you're kind of trying to instigate back and forth communication. What you're going to find out is that you are building relationships. You're creating a sense of loyalty, camaraderie. And what that's going to blossom out to is word-of-mouth advertising, probably both on Facebook and off of Facebook. Use your fan page to generate buzz. If you can get members to, kind of get them interested in promoting and telling their friends about your fan page and getting them to join and things like that, you can really get things growing very, very quickly. And in order to do that, you might consider doing maybe some kind of contest for who can get the most people to join, things like that. Use your page to build credibility and add value to your standing, to your ads, to your information, everything. Once your fan base grows, your credibility for your ads is going to go right along with it. Make sure that you take the time to interact with your members. If it's a one-way street and they're always posting to you and you don't reply back to them individually, then you're not going to have that community environment, and you're going to essentially not be building any of the things that we're trying to build here that are going to add to your credibility. Now, understand that with great power comes great responsibility. And Facebook can easily turn into a double-edged sword, meaning that you can get hurt. If you don't live up to your advertising promises, if you don't keep that good relationship going with your community, that can come around and stick you pretty good. So keep that in mind. Cross promotions. Use Facebook everywhere on your website. If you've got blogs somewhere, if you maybe put it in your signature on forums that you're a member of to get people to come back to your Facebook page, everywhere that you can, let people know that you are on Facebook. So definitely link to it from your website. Connect it with other social accounts like Twitter, okay? And even use Facebook on business cards, because nowadays, seriously, everybody is on Facebook. And a lot of people, let's say you're a brick and mortar place, you got your business card, you put Facebook on there. A lot of people, they'll come in, maybe get a business card, and they want to check you out on Facebook. They want to see what you're all about. And that's a great way for them to do that. So it's a good opportunity for you. If you're an affiliate marketer, I got good news for you. You can get into multiple niches and have several different advertising programs going at the same time. Multiple streams of revenue. Create different pages, different groups for different products. Excellent targeting. Make sure that you do, find out about the niche that you're working in, okay, so that you can create a good experience for those people. Affiliate marketers are notorious for not fully understanding everything about the niches for the products that they're promoting, because it's so easy to promote products that you know nothing about. A good idea, though, is to find out a little bit more about the people that are in that niche, because that'll help you with your targeting. Make sure that your landing pages are professional. We don't want, umpteen bazillion pages of sales copy as your landing page. You just want something nice and clean that's direct and to the point. keep it attractive, and make sure that they know what it's all about. Research your products. This is because your reputation's on the line here, folks. Remember, Facebook, yeah, you're there, okay? And unless you want to create a new Facebook account every week under a different name, you're going to want to make sure that you're promoting products that come through, okay? And remember, even as an affiliate marketer, this is your business. Treat it that way. Your efforts are for your business. So you want to put some pride into what it is that you're doing. Don't just, go out there and blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I just want to make a quick buck. That's not the way to do this long term. Yeah, it might work for a little while, but it's going to quit. And in conclusion, Facebook will allow you to save money on advertising. It allows you to reach 500 million users and growing. It allows you to fine-tune your campaigns to target the exact demographics of what it is that you want to look for, what kind of person is going to be interested in your product. It allows you to fit your advertising to your budget. You can develop relationships with fan pages and cause your following to grow virally, gaining word-of-mouth advertising. And all of this is going to yield a higher return on investment with the increased exposure that you will no doubt attain from Facebook. Now remember, there's no set rules. There's no secret formula that's going to make everybody successful on Facebook. You're going to have to do some trial and error. You're going to have to be patient and, as you get results, make some tweaks and changes to make your campaign the absolute best that it possibly can be. In this, our last video, we're just going to go over some things to help you tidy up Facebook and get it performing to its peak. One thing that you want to do in your Facebook account is create a group page. The group page is very easy to manage. It allows you to do a whole lot of hands-on kind of stuff and create, an online version of you or your products or your services. Gives you better targeting. If you're using a personal Facebook account to launch your ads, running your main account as a place, as a contact place, can actually be a little bit overwhelming from a user's standpoint. And you don't want, probably you don't want to see your customers seeing all the wall posts from, your high school buddies and stuff like that. So having that group page is a way to keep your business section over there on your business section. We can promote multiple products at once with ease. If you have group pages, multiple products, each product will have its own group, okay? And you can sell totally different stuff. Basic info. Facebook is going to walk you through creating the basic, the group page itself, and you just have to enter in some very basic information during that process. Let's look at that a little bit. The basic info, the group name, maybe a description, the type of group. You can put in some news, stuff like that. Just basically form filling kind of stuff. And then you can customize the group if you want it to be open. This has to do with access. Open means anybody can join the group and anybody can invite others, right? If you want to get a big following, obviously this is the one that you want to do. Closed. This is going to give you the opportunity to have just an administrator approve new members joining. Now, anybody else can actually search for the group, and they can see the group description, and they can, make a request to join it, but it's going to have to be approved by the administrator. And then the last one is secret. This is going to hide the group from searches. Only people that are invited by the admin are going to be able to get in here. So if you've got maybe some kind of exclusive promotion or something like that you want to make available just to a very tight-knit group of people. And after you got your page up, you want to invite people. You want to promote these pages as much as you possibly can. Get a link on your website. Add it to, even business cards, email signatures, any other advertising that you do. Consider putting something in there about your group page. You might even consider doing a little bit of advertising on Facebook just to get people to join your group, because having people in that group, it's almost like, it's a lot like actually having a list, an email list. Now, interacting with fans, this is pretty important because, again, Facebook is a very social environment. So we want to participate and make it a two-way thing. Promoting sales. We can let our fans know about, fans and friends about promotions that we've got going on our website. We can just write on our wall, bam, it's all there, they see it. Use Facebook as kind of like a little mini blog to let people know about helpful information. Write to them, about something that they might enjoy reading that would benefit them. Create a community. Enable posting on your wall for members. That way, they feel like they are a part of the community. So they come to your group page and they're able to actually put comments on there. They're going to love that, okay? Build up relationships. When you create a fan page, you're kind of trying to instigate back and forth communication. What you're going to find out is that you are building relationships. You're creating a sense of loyalty, camaraderie. And what that's going to blossom out to is word-of-mouth advertising, probably both on Facebook and off of Facebook. Use your fan page to generate buzz. If you can get members to, kind of get them interested in promoting and telling their friends about your fan page and getting them to join and things like that, you can really get things growing very, very quickly. And in order to do that, you might consider doing maybe some kind of contest for who can get the most people to join, things like that. Use your page to build credibility and add value to your standing, to your ads, to your information, everything. Once your fan base grows, your credibility for your ads is going to go right along with it. Make sure that you take the time to interact with your members. If it's a one-way street and they're always posting to you and you don't reply back to them individually, then you're not going to have that community environment, and you're going to essentially not be building any of the things that we're trying to build here that are going to add to your credibility. Now, understand that with great power comes great responsibility. And Facebook can easily turn into a double-edged sword, meaning that you can get hurt. If you don't live up to your advertising promises, if you don't keep that good relationship going with your community, that can come around and stick you pretty good. So keep that in mind. Cross promotions. Use Facebook everywhere on your website. If you've got blogs somewhere, if you maybe put it in your signature on forums that you're a member of to get people to come back to your Facebook page, everywhere that you can, let people know that you are on Facebook. So definitely link to it from your website. Connect it with other social accounts like Twitter, okay? And even use Facebook on business cards, because nowadays, seriously, everybody is on Facebook. And a lot of people, let's say you're a brick and mortar place, you got your business card, you put Facebook on there. A lot of people, they'll come in, maybe get a business card, and they want to check you out on Facebook. They want to see what you're all about. And that's a great way for them to do that. So it's a good opportunity for you. If you're an affiliate marketer, I got good news for you. You can get into multiple niches and have several different advertising programs going at the same time. Multiple streams of revenue. Create different pages, different groups for different products. Excellent targeting. Make sure that you do, find out about the niche that you're working in, okay, so that you can create a good experience for those people. Affiliate marketers are notorious for not fully understanding everything about the niches for the products that they're promoting, because it's so easy to promote products that you know nothing about. A good idea, though, is to find out a little bit more about the people that are in that niche, because that'll help you with your targeting. Make sure that your landing pages are professional. We don't want, umpteen bazillion pages of sales copy as your landing page. You just want something nice and clean that's direct and to the point. Keep it attractive and make sure that they know what it's all about. Research your products. This is because your reputation's on the line here, folks. Remember, Facebook, you're there, okay? And unless you want to create a new Facebook account every week under a different name, you're going to want to make sure that you're promoting products that come through, okay? And remember, even as an affiliate marketer, this is your business. Treat it that way. Your efforts are for your business. So you want to put some pride into what it is that you're doing. Don't just, go out there and blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I just want to make a quick buck. That's not the way to do this long term. It might work for a little while, but it's going to quit. And in conclusion, Facebook will allow you to save money on advertising. It allows you to reach 500 million users and growing. It allows you to fine-tune your campaigns to target the exact demographics of what it is that you want to look for, what kind of person is going to be interested in your product. It allows you to fit your advertising to your budget. You can develop relationships with fan pages and cause your following to grow virally, gaining word-of-mouth advertising. And all of this is going to yield a higher return on investment with the increased exposure that you will no doubt attain from Facebook. Now remember, there's no set rules. There's no secret formula that's going to make everybody successful on Facebook. You're going to have to do some trial and error. You're going to have to be patient and, as you get results, make some tweaks and changes to make your campaign the absolute best that it possibly can be.